I bought 3 of the highest rated plastic restoration products on Amazon, and today we're finding out which one works the best. I have 12 shutters that are faded from the sun and need to be restored. I want a product that looks natural, is dry to the touch, is easy to apply, doesn't attract dust, and will last for at least 6 months. Our first contender is 303 Aerospace Protectant. With over 27,000 Amazon reviews and a 4.7-star rating, it's best known for its UV protection and ability to restore patio furniture. Next up is Meguiar's Ultimate Black Plastic Restorer, another customer favorite. It promises a rich, dark finish while helping protect exterior vehicle trim from the elements. And finally, Guys VRP, short for vinyl, rubber, and plastic. It's designed to restore color, add UV protection, and leave behind a dry, non-greasy finish. To make this as fair as possible, I'm testing all 3 products on 12 identical shutters that face west and spend every afternoon baking in the Midwest sun. Before applying anything, I'm wiping each shutter down with isopropyl alcohol to remove dirt, oils, and any previous protectants, so every product starts with the exact same surface. I use 90% isopropyl alcohol because it is good for prepping surfaces and won't leave behind any oil or residue like some cleaners. It also dries quickly, so you don't have any downtime. We're going to start with Guys VRP. It's a water-based dressing with a creamy consistency. You can apply it using a foam applicator like I'm using here, or with a clean microfiber towel. The directions are pretty straightforward. Apply an even coat to a clean surface, then wipe away any excess if needed. I'm going a little heavier than recommended because I want to give each product the best possible chance to survive this 180-day test. Guys says VRP restores faded vinyl, rubber, and plastic, dries to the touch without leaving a greasy residue, and provides UV protection to help prevent future fading. I've actually been using VRP inside my vehicles for a while now, and I've been really happy with the results. It's one of those products that professional detailers seem to recommend over and over again. This is my first time using it on exterior plastic though, so I'm just as curious as you are to see how it holds up after months of direct sunlight. It's spreading very evenly without streaking. It gives the shutter a nice finish without looking overly glossy. I noticed that a little product actually goes a long way. Even though I'm applying it pretty generously, it's covering these louvers surprisingly well. Guys doesn't make any claims about how long the product lasts, but the majority of Amazon users say it lasts a long time. However, some users claim it only lasts 2 to 4 weeks and can be splotchy or streaky. Splotchy and streaky results can occur when you don't prep the surface using isopropyl alcohol. Even degreasers like Simple Green can leave behind trace amounts of residue that can negatively impact your application. While I'm on the subject of Amazon, if you're interested in any of these products, I'll have links to all of them down in the description. As an Amazon associate, I earn a small commission if you purchase through those links, but it doesn't cost you anything extra, and I truly appreciate the support. I'm just a dad who likes testing products and sharing what I learn. So hopefully you don't have to waste your money. Around here, instructions might be optional, but research definitely isn't. If I recommend something, it's either because I've used it myself or I've spent a lot of time researching it before putting it in one of my videos. If you are a fellow dad or a new content creator, comment DSD or F4F and I will go subscribe to your channel. If you purchase something using one of my links, mention it in the comments and I will return the favor. I think it's important to build each other up and we can all reach our goals together. I'm going to speed this up so we can get to the next product and see how it compares to VRP. Next up is Meguiar's Ultimate Black Plastic Restorer. You can probably already tell which product inspired this entire video. This darker section of the shutter is where I tested Meguiar's a couple of weeks ago. And after seeing the results, I wanted to know how it stacked up against some of the other top-rated products. I'm applying this with a foam applicator and working it into the plastic a little heavier than recommended. Since this is a 180-day durability test, I want to give every product the best chance to succeed. Meguiar says this product provides UV protection that lasts weeks, not days, restores faded plastic back to a deep black finish, and dries quickly without leaving behind a greasy residue. If I had to pick a favorite before starting this test, it would probably be Meguiar's, simply because it's what I've trusted on my wife's Highlander for years. But that's exactly why I wanted to do this comparison. I wanted to see if there was something even better. One thing I've always liked is the way it wears over time. Instead of becoming blotchy or streaky, it seems to fade pretty evenly, which makes the trim continue to look natural even when it's time for another coat. At roughly $1 an ounce, it's also the least expensive product in today's comparison. I've had this same bottle for over a year, and there's still plenty left. It's a water-based polymer dressing, but as I'm applying it side by side, I do notice one difference. It's hard to capture on camera, but it seems to leave just a little more gloss and feels slightly wetter than VRP, especially when applied as generously as I am here. Of course, none of that really matters if it doesn't last. We'll find out in part 2 whether that extra shine translates into better long-term protection. Our final product is 303 Aerospace Protectant, and unlike the first two products, this one comes in a spray bottle. The directions say you can either spray it directly onto the surface or apply it with a microfiber towel. I'm using the towel method because it helps prevent overspray and gives me a little more control over how evenly the product is applied. As I'm working it into the shutter, it starts drying pretty quickly and looks a little streaky. At this point, I'm not sure if that's just because it's drying so fast or if it simply needs to be worked in a little longer. I originally bought 303 after researching products to protect our outdoor wicker lounge chairs. The constant sun exposure was causing the resin wicker to become brittle, and 303 kept showing up as one of the most recommended UV protectants. 303 recommends reapplying it every 30 days to maintain maximum UV protection. That doesn't necessarily mean it stops working after a month, but it does set the expectation that regular maintenance is part of getting the best results. Unfortunately, I accidentally stopped recording while I was finishing this shutter, but here's what happened. I ended up going over it a couple more times to even everything out, and then I buffed it with a clean microfiber towel to remove the streaks. After buffing, the finish looked much more uniform. One thing to keep in mind is that 303 isn't marketed as a plastic dye or restorer. It's primarily known as a UV protectant, so I'll be paying close attention to whether it protects the shutters just as well, even if it doesn't produce the darkest finish on day one. Now that all three products have been applied, let's take a closer look at the results. Here's the first shutter treated with VRP, and next to it is Meguiar's. If you're noticing the lighter area near the bottom of the Meguiar's shutter, that's actually just light reflecting off the fasteners. They were pushed in a little too far, creating a slight depression in the plastic. It doesn't appear that way in person, and it isn't streaking from the product. Here's the shutter treated with 303 Aerospace Protectant. After buffing out the streaks, it left a nice even finish. As often happens during DIY projects, I came up with another idea halfway through the experiment. I figured if VRP restores the color and 303 is famous for UV protection, why not combine them? So I treated a fourth shutter with VRP first, then topped it with 303. I wasn't planning on doing this, so I forgot to hit record, but that bonus shutter will be part of the 30-day results. As you look at the close-ups, pay attention to the color, the level of gloss, and how evenly each product covered the surface. Do they all look the same, or are there some subtle differences? It's hard to tell in the video, but to my eye, I think the 303 Aerospace and the Chemical Guys VRP look more natural. But I want to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments which one looks the best on day one. I think all three products did a fantastic job, and all four shutters look much better than they did before. But the real winner won't be decided today. It'll be the one that still looks the best after 6 months of afternoon sun and thunderstorms. Now I need your help. There are still 8 shutters left to test, starting with the 2 in this picture. Leave a comment with a new product you'd like to see next. The products with the most requests will make it into the next round of testing. The good news is, it's actually been more than 30 days since I filmed this, so you won't have to wait long for the results. Be sure to follow, like, and subscribe so you don't miss part 2. I'll show you exactly which product held up the best, and whether the bonus VRP and 303 combination actually worked. Thanks so much for watching and for all the support. Every view, like, comment, and subscription helps this channel grow, and I truly appreciate every one of you.